Marty.
Yeah.
One of the tenets of this show, America Heals, one of the things that we all agreed on and that we were very proud of and are proud of is the idea that we hold everyone accountable, even if they're on our side. So we've said it before in previous shows. If a Democrat's was found in trouble for doing something wrong, fire them. We don't care.
Yeah.
Throw them in jail. The difference between us and them is it's it's our guy, let's protect them. If it's their guy, hang them up. We're like, no, if you break a rule, if you do something wrong, everyone gets held accountable. And so holding on to that is what's most important, because at the end of the day, if someone wasn't arrested, in Minnesota, they should have been. Then they should have been. It doesn't mean, well, there was a guy that wasn't arrested in Minnesota, so therefore we don't have to arrest the guy that was in Washington. No, right. They both should have been arrested.
They should have been, but they weren't. They weren't because even the government understands that when you have a mob of people, that there are people more at fault than others, and it's a lot of people. There was over 100,000 people there. You're not going to arrest 100,000. It just makes I don't know.
Why not?
One of those things that just I don't know why. Why didn't they just rub off everybody around Congress and arrest them all? They didn't.
I just want you to know that we had a
whole thing.
We had a civil war. We passed an amendment number 14. Everybody that had anything to do with the Civil War, every last goddamn one of them. It doesn't matter. I was just the mailman. Doesn't matter. I was just the messenger. I was just the drummer boy for the Confederacy. Doesn't matter. None of you get to be part of the be in the United States.
And by harboring that and giving them like a categorical license to some of us were worse than others. You're not going to get the ones who are really the smartest ones who we don't even know. I mean, they're underneath. They're the smartest. And
well, that's what I'm saying. You gotta.
So how far back? Let's play this game. How far back? If you're standing on those steps and you see, on the one hand, you're standing at the bottom of those Capitol steps, and on the one hand to your right, you see these guys over here beating the shit out of cops and pulling them down and beating the crap out of them with American flag. And on the other side, you got guys that are in the other doorway going back and forth, tug of war, boom, boom, boom. And in the meantime, you got people yelling, kill Nancy Pelosi and hang Mike Pence. And then off to the...
And they built a gallows.
To the other side of the Capitol, you see guys over there building the gallows that they brought with them because they've heard earlier this morning that you need to go by force and keeping democracy ain't going to happen by with peace.
They have combat helmets on. They're ready to rock. They got zip ties. Do you remember this? It's too bright. Remember this when this happened? They arrested on air and I was like, funnily enough, it was very early in the morning on the East Coast. So it was like 4 a.m. or something. They arrested Omar Jimenez, a CNN reporter, as he was reporting in Minnesota.
That's right.
You want to talk about exacting justice? This man is just a reporter. He has his press credentials. He's being filmed live on air by CNN, and they arrested the man. And this was a black man. Of course, it was a black man. And now we have a whole crowd of white guys still cap. And we're like, well, he's okay and he's not okay. And she was old and you've got to stop this. We've been doing it for too damn long, for 200 to 300 years. There's one person that's getting treated one way and there's one person getting treated another way. And the difference is the color of their skin. And it's the optics are freaking terrible and we've got to freaking stop it. I don't care what happens. We got to have a reckoning. People got to be held accountable.
And the very, very last phrase of the Trump presidency was delivered by Mike Pompeo on the very last day.
Yeah.
And what did he choose to denounce?
Multiculturalism.
Multiculturalism.
That it was a betrayal of American values.
It was authoritarianism in disguise, is what he said.
Awesome. Back to epistemology, Jeff. This is where this shit starts from, and it's literally what Lincoln was looking square in the eye as he went through the Dred Scott case and went through the exact problem that we're facing. We are a racial disparity nation, and what has been the threat in political science circles to the current systems is now exacting itself. And this is where we are. We were told many years ago, one day the white people aren't going to be the majority anymore. And we were like, oh, that'll be interesting times. And what has been the reaction by conservative white people to that piece of fact? They've been like, well, fuck this. We're going to do everything we can to hold on to our power, because even if there's less of us, we own a lot of the wealth. And so here we go. It happens in churches. It happens in communities. It happens in states. It's happening in our nation. It's a cultural issue. This country was built on slavery. Our theology was built with slaves afoot, and economic systems and capitalism that has led us down a road where we have a myth in this country that God blesses the winners and God hates the losers. Doesn't matter that isn't what it's taught in the Bible. It's what American cultural bullshit theology tells them. And so seeing Donald Trump with a gold set of curtains and a fake tan and watching lifestyles of the rich and famous allows some people to believe in the American dream. For the rest of us, we were stupid enough to believe in the American dream and actually go to work, raise a family, pay our taxes, play by the rules. And what did we find out? That we're financing a party for clowns that are in the political class, like Matt Gaetz and other now QAnon jackwits that are allowed to make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year and get jobs in lobbying companies as soon as they leave, because all they're doing is playing along with the best grift in town. And I feel like an idiot for not playing along. I could do that really well. I could probably learn all there is to know about Q in about 10 days. And why don't I do a show on that?
They're just car salesmen, like really good car salesmen. They're just pumping out that product.
Well, they have the advantage of pure cult piety, that even when what they say doesn't come true, it's because everyone else is lying. So
right. It's right. You get the ultimate walk away. You're like, well, it's just.
I mean, honestly, do you really think that this Marjorie Greene would have been elected to anything if she didn't go super? You think she has a super, like, you think she has any bone in her body that would make her an AOC type of person, like educated or know anything about policy or anything? That's not her thing. She wouldn't be where she's at if she didn't do this.
Her version of freedom depends. Her version of freedom depends on the freedom to not have to learn, Ace.
Exactly. That's what she's selling you. She's selling you a much easier product to sell. That it's hate. Everybody lies to you. Everything you hear is a lie. And when I tell you something and it doesn't come true, it's because everybody else is lying. Everybody can sell that. And by the way, when she gets 50,000 likes, 60,000 views, then people go, oh, 60,000 people are watching. Now it's 70,000. Now it's 80,000. It's the same thing that's happening everywhere else. It's the same thing that's happening in stock market. We'll talk about everything. This is what happens when people jump on. They make something non-legitimate legitimate based on crowds. The crowd size makes everything legitimate, and it's not. That's the problem.
So I want to lift that up, and let's move into that.